Hey, Tim Sykes here. Wanted to do a video not about stocks, but about firms blowing up. I think it is so good to study history. This is obviously not history. This is real time right now. But if you watch this video in 2023 or 2025, it'll be history. FTX just went bust, basically. And this is one of the biggest crypto companies, or was one of the biggest crypto companies in the world. And it's really shocked a lot of people to their core. Not me. I've always said like crypto is full of the biggest scammers. I always say expect the worst, then you'll never be disappointed. I have like this cynical approach that keeps me and my top students safe. Let's not forget, it's now the 1 year anniversary of this video. I'll post links below. I'm going to highlight a lot of videos and blog posts. I'll post links all below. But 1 year ago, I sat on stage at this very positive conference where everyone's manifesting their dreams and it's so beautiful. And I had a hard hat and construction outfit because I said, be careful because a crash is coming. And I'll highlight that more. I didn't know exactly what would happen. I just knew that there was a lot of excess. And when there's too much excess in any market, the market corrects. If you ever have excessive confidence, you will get corrected. If you ever get too cocky, the market will humble you. It's always good to really be overprotective. Leave that comment underneath this video. Say, I will expect the worst. I will be safe. And don't just type that, actually mean it. This is the beauty of how I teach. I teach like a coward. My top students and I have still made millions of dollars because we're trading volatile assets, but we're trading them in a rather safe way. Obviously, you can never be completely safe, but if you trade scared, then trading isn't so scary. And I know this isn't a very popular approach. A lot of the biggest traders I know, and if you ask around, traders will say, oh, Tim Sykes is such a little bitch. Like he has these small gains. Understand, small gains add up, first of all, but second of all, I trade in order to teach these days. Remember, I donate all my trading profits to charity. So if you ever wonder, how am I going to trade? I'm going to trade in a safe way because I am trying to teach you how to trade safely and still profit. You don't need to risk everything. And sadly, some people just don't listen. A lot of short sellers who, grew up wanting to be a trader. I have people who have like studied my stuff for like, I've been teaching 15 years. They've been studying my stuff for years, over a decade. They've been seeing Tim Grittani and now they're short selling, but they're a lot more aggressive than Tim Grittani or I. And frankly, a lot of short sellers are blowing up lately. This is why most short sellers can't show all their trades. It's very sad, but that's what happens when you blow up. Just like FTX, which is now blowing up. Guess what? They didn't want to show all of their stuff because it was ugly. Transparency is a big thing, okay? And you'll start to understand that, why I've come to this conclusion over time. But I want you to understand why I teach the way that I do, why I trade the way that I do, and why I really value safety. The worst thing that you can do is blow up. You lose all your money, you go into debt, you ruin your name, you ruin your confidence. You just don't need to take these big risks. And I know, I'm like trying to teach degenerate gamblers discipline, but this is what I do. Just some background. This is the video that I did a year ago. I'll post it, called this crash, nailed it. Also wanted to highlight this. This is a blog post. If you click the link below, I'll highlight this blog post. This is FTX's downfall when it cracked 22 the other day, yesterday. It's crazy how fast this stuff moves. But 22 was the key inflection point. And, if you read the blog post, you can see why that matters. There's a lot to unpack here. But I also have this video, which I will link, how to profit on GTII, MMTLP and not blow up on iLag. A lot of short sellers blew up on iLag, even though they were eventually right. They squeezed each other out. While my top students and I are just banking on much more predictable pumps, GTII, MMTLP. I don't know why people want to trade such speculative junk and trade it in such an aggressive way as to risk blowing up. But again, this is what degenerate gamblers do. This is why my business of educating people and how to try to keep people safe is booming. I know that there is an urgent need for what I do. Even if it isn't popular, even if people don't realize it. I realize it. And, some of you guys do realize it too. So thank you for understanding that. But, I tweeted this, just a few hours ago. I said the crypto crash is necessary because too many crypto fans, hodlers, and newbies naively trusted these scumbags. Michael Saylor, for example, destroying people's savings on Bitcoin was just the start. Now the FTX Binance crisis is even shadier. Expect the worst. You'll never be disappointed. In case you don't know, Michael Saylor, billionaire on his own. Fantastic. Congrats to him. Used to throw great parties in Miami, but he did something very unethical and irresponsible in 2021, telling the average person to mortgage their house, put everything into Bitcoin because he believed Bitcoin was going to $1 million. Maybe Bitcoin does go to $1 million. What Michael Saylor doesn't understand is that most people can't handle the volatility. And I don't even think he can handle the volatility. He said this when Bitcoin was around 60,000. As of right now, Bitcoin is crashing because of what's happened with FTX and Binance, and I'll get into that in a second. Bitcoin's down to 17.6, down 13% just in the last 7 days. But this whole past few months of trying to bounce is now just looks like a giant fake out. Ethereum is down 20% in the past day. But FTX is the one causing it. Wow, they're going to go low on this chart because they're down like 75, 76%. All of the cryptos are getting hurt. FTX is down 77% on the day, down to 4. When things blow up, they end very badly. It's not like there's like all these like nice little gradual signs where it's like, oh, you can get out here, you can get out here. No, blowing up, whether you're shorting iLag or shorting HKD, which also blew up a lot of shorts, or if you're invested in FTX, there's no warning. It happens very quickly. And again, this is why having a safe mindset ahead of time, not putting all your eggs in one basket, not having all your money in any one account, that protects you. And these are just little things. I know that they're not fun. I know they're uncomfortable. I know they're not popular. Again, if I was like a trader's trader, I could be more aggressive. I could go out drinking with the boys. I don't care about any of that, okay? I can barely drink these days. I'm too old for that. I've seen too many traders blow up, losing weeks, months, years of hard work due to over-aggression, due to greed. You can learn from their mistakes. Like I said, this is history happening right now. This is FTX down 77%. Look at this. This is just 1 day chart, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. It already wasn't doing that well. This is also, there's so many lessons to unpack here. One of the biggest lessons here is, this is just FTX before the big panic today. It couldn't bounce. I'm always concerned about assets that, went supernova and then come down and then they can't bounce. That's usually the long kiss goodnight from my 7-step framework. And you might have a few little fake out bounces, but usually, by and large, it goes out, without a bang and it just ends with a whimper. Or, in the case of FTX, it is a bang. The whole thing went bust. But be very careful when companies or cryptos or NFTs can't bounce near their lows because there's already dip buyers. And I said this the other day with FTX at 22. I've said this a lot, with crypto lately. You're just not seeing that volatility. Like if Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million, it should be able to bounce from 20 to 40K, right? 40K is still a long way from $1 million, but it can barely bounce. So I would love Bitcoin to bounce. I'm not a Bitcoin hater. I would love all of crypto to bounce. I profit off volatility. It does me no good to see FTX crash. And I know a lot of people have just lost all their money who have their crypto in FTX, thinking that it was safe, believing Tom Brady and a lot of other celebrity promoters that were paid. What was there? FTX Arena. This is very similar, where every time a company names an arena or goes after sports fans, they're usually not on the up and up. They're trying to take advantage of the dumbest, laziest, most financially naive people, aka sports fans. Sorry, but it's true. I don't know what happens to FTX Arena now. I guess maybe it's going to be Binance Arena. Anyways, let me get into the story. This is just a timeline of what's happening. So the headlines are Binance is acquiring FTX. That's very kind. That's a kind way to put it. It's really like FTX went bust. Binance is offering to pick up the pieces, but also Binance can walk away from the deal at any time. They just put out this headline to like try to brace for impact, try to make them seem like they're good guys. Like, I don't even know if Binance will acquire FTX. There's antitrust issues, but it's also far too early. FTX is a giant mess of leverage and interconnected trades. The headline should be, typical degenerate trader, FTX, the guy who like led it, Sam. He was a trader and he got tired of just, his little 10% arbitrage on crypto. Interestingly, he got tired of small gains adding up. He went big, and unfortunately, despite him seeming so intelligent, so conservative, we'll find out still, because this is a breaking news story, but like it looks like he did all sorts of over leveraged, interconnected trades. And it all went bust, overnight when it was called out. Like, a house of cards fails very quickly. This happens with penny stocks, not just, people who short companies like iLag. Short sellers, again, logically are right in the long run, but they squeeze each other out. Those who believe promoters, whether it's HMBL or ENZC or CYDY or LTNC. Remember the LTNC army? Remember the Sponge Tech army? All these hashtag armies disappear when the house of cards collapses. And let me just go over this because this is an interesting timeline. This is all in the last 2 months. So Sam Bankman-Fried, whatever his last name is, Bankman Fraud, I guess you can call him now. He owned FTX and Alameda Research. And, Alameda Research is like the trading vehicle. FTX is like the giant crypto company, and he has his wealth in a bunch of different stuff. Apparently, late August, the CEO of Alameda quit, probably sensing that this was not going to end well. Brett Harrison quit as FTX US president. FTX also has been trying to get into the US. Like, there's all these crypto regulations. It's not very US friendly. So all of this stuff happens offshore. For those of you who do love crypto and you just hate me and you hate yourselves, understand regulation, everything that you hate, this would have protected you dumbasses from exactly what's happening right now. You play with crazy fire, you're going to get burned. This is what happens in unregulated markets. It still can, happen in regulated markets, but like FDIC insurance usually makes people whole. Binance is apparently going to make FTX customers whole, probably just because they don't want all the hate that's going to happen and all the lawsuits and all of the probably new regulations in crypto. So they're trying to avoid that. It's not like Binance and CZ are good guys. They're just trying to look out for themselves. They don't want a total industry collapse, even though I think that might be what the industry is needed. Sometimes, you need to take the medicine. Let's see. Yeah, crypto's still, it's hanging down there, but this crushes everything. And, for me, I'm glad I dipped my toe into NFTs. I've dipped my toe a little bit, but there's so many scammers, and this is just one of many things that can happen. By the way, if you get contacted by like Timothy Sykes 432 or somebody else's name using my pictures, it's not me. I don't even have time to contact anybody. The beauty of being real in an industry full of frauds is that my business is booming. You're not DMing with me, okay? I'm not DMing anybody. I answer my Q&A in my challenge only. I'm actually giving a challenge webinar in 3 hours. Click the link below if you want to get into my challenge. That's weekly Q&A with me. That's the only place I do it. If you get somebody saying, I'll manage your money, I don't manage anybody else's money. If you get somebody saying, open up this crypto wallet, I would never say that. And this is exactly why. Anyways, so this guy quits as Alameda. This guy quits as FTX US. Now they're under investigation. October 23rd, you see Sam wants regulation. And I think now looking back, because now we have the beauty of hindsight, people were like, why does he want regulation? This is going to hurt him. But I think he might have been thinking, can he just keep his house of cards together long enough to get to some regulation so that, his customers are okay, and then maybe he can unwind his over leveraged positions. I think that's probably what he was thinking all along. No one knew how screwed up FTX was. He obviously did. Anyways, then there's an article saying Alameda's finances, and that wasn't good. Then there's, this just happened in the past few days, $585 million. went to Binance. CZ, who owns Binance, later says that, it's his transaction. Here, so this is when FTX starts dropping, the CEO of Alameda Research offers CZ to buy their FTT at $22. The CZ was going to sell like $2 billion worth. In Alameda Research, they know how over leveraged they are. They know that it just takes like a little pinprick to knock down the whole house of cards. They offered $22. That's why, in this blog post, $22 was key. CZ said, no, we're not going to allow you to take us out at 22. And I think there was even a tweet where he made a joke, or somebody made a joke and he retweeted it. And it was like, with what money are you going to buy us out at 22 at? Because, they were technically insolvent. CZ was just calling them out. And then this, panic starts to set in. Sam even tweeted a competitor is trying to take us down. This is what really sucks. Let me find this. Hold on. So this is Sam's Twitter, and I've followed him, and he's always seemed very intelligent. He's kind of seemed like the Elon Musk of crypto, and it turns out he was the riskiest trader of all time. He just lost what, 12, 13 billion dollars overnight, or 15 billion overnight. It's insane how fast it collapsed. But this is what's crazy, because he tweeted this. So now he's trying to be a good guy. Did he delete it? And oh, by the way, he's a significant donor in the elections because he's trying to get, political leaders, for him. No, so by the way, he's also buying the assets of Voyager. I'm getting a lot of questions about this because FTX was supposed to acquire Celsius and Voyager, but now FTX is going out of business. So I don't know what happens to anybody with Voyager funds or Celsius. I don't think those acquisitions are going to go through. I don't know if Binance is going to take over them. PS Voyager, very cocky bunch. We were trying to work with them with stocks to trade and integrate stocks to trade in crypto during the mania. And they were so cocky. They were like, we're growing so fast. We don't need you. And it's okay, you're growing fast. Let's potentially work something. They basically blew us off. Then they went bankrupt. Again, cockiness kills. But I'm looking for this one tweet. Look, this is a terrible tweet. Sam says, excited to see what happens on Tuesday. He's talking about the elections because the elections are Tuesday. He has no idea that, Tuesday is going to be the day that he loses 95% of his fortune. That's sad. Where is this? I think he might have deleted the tweet. So they tried to say on November 6th, the balance sheet is okay. There's rumors. We have 10 billion in assets that aren't reflected here. As it turns out, that was wrong. Yeah, I think he deleted the tweet. Before he was saying a competitor is trying to, let me find this. So this is an article. I don't want to get it wrong. So I think that is the tweet deleted. Oh, it just goes to their article. Damn crypto websites. Anyways, yeah, there's no, I don't know. This is what the tweet said. Sam gave an update saying a competitor is trying to go after us with false rumors. FTX is fine. Assets are fine. FTX has enough to cover all client holdings. Blah, blah, blah. And he said this, CZ is the one from Binance calling him out. And he says, I love it, CZ, if we could work together. I don't know if he deleted this tweet or not, but it doesn't matter. Sam was obviously lying. They were not fine. They collapsed literally a day later. So this is what sucks because literally Sam was somebody that, I kind of looked up to and I thought he was going to be very good for the industry. I like intelligent traders. And we're going to find out more in the coming days about all the shady stuff that they did. But this is what's so crazy because at first he says a competitor is trying to smear us. Then literally a little later, this was all of the unfounded rumors. He does a few threads. This was the thread. Literally right after saying a competitor is trying to smear us, this is when, his firm is bust. He doesn't really change his tone. He says, I have a few announcements to make. FTX's first and last investors are the same. We've come to an agreement on a strategic transaction with Binance. So he can't even say that he's getting acquired by Binance. He's saying a strategic transaction. And mind you, this is the same competitor that he said was smearing him. And he says, our teams are working on clearing the withdrawal process. Binance is the main reason. This is one of the main reasons we've asked Binance to come in. It may take a bit. We apologize, but the important thing is that customers are protected. A huge thank you to CZ, Binance, and all of our supporters. CZ has done and will continue to do an incredible job of building out the global crypto ecosystem and creating a freer economic world. What? You literally were just saying he's a piece of crap. And there's actually a deleted tweet from a few days ago on October 30th where he was making fun of the fact that he's not even sure if CZ is allowed into the US. And I think that's the rumored tweet that set off CZ. But this is what's crazy, where, he says, I know that there have been rumors in the media of conflict between our two exchanges. Buddy, 2 days ago, you tweeted saying a competitor is trying to smear us. There's no rumors of conflict. You're the one stating it. You're contradicting yourself. And as your fortune collapses, you forgot that you tweeted it. Like, it's really heartbreaking to see like someone who you look up to, and so many people look up to, and, created this whole new industry. And I understand. I mean, if you lose, tens of billions of dollars in one day, your mindset isn't there. But like, it's just sad. Look at this. Binance has shown time and again they're committed to a more. So he's always trying to take like the worthwhile route. Like, we're trying to create a freer economy. Dude, you just invested all your freaking, not even cash, because you can't even say cash, your coins, right? You leveraged to the hilt, you got caught, you got busted. And this is what I hate. Like, startups, companies, CEOs, they always put on a happy face and they're just straight up lying. This is probably why I respect Elon Musk, whether you like Elon or not. He just tells the truth, right? Like, at one point he said like Tesla's, overvalued. No other CEO would ever say that. Yes, Elon Musk plays all of his games too. I'm not saying he's perfect, but like, I just wish more CEOs, more business people, more traders were like, just, like honest. Just like blunt. He's clearly lying in all of this. And he's just trying to, now take the high road and say like, look, customers are protected. Again, we don't even know if this is going to go through. Mind you, let me show you what CZ, and this is CZ. It's interesting that all this stuff happens on Twitter. Twitter is a fascinating place. I'm excited to see what Elon can do with it. But this was, CZ basically saying, as part of Binance, we received $2 billion due to recent revelations that have come to light. We decided to liquidate. We're trying to do this in a way that minimizes market impact. Yeah, right. He could have obviously just done a backroom deal with them and no one would have been the wiser. He tweeted this to specifically destroy, confidence in FTX. Because he knew like, okay, he's going to lose 2 billion, or maybe he sold some of it. He'll lose like $1 billion, $1.5 billion, but he'll wipe away. I think FTX was valued at 32 billion. So this was the ruthlessness of CZ, tweeting specifically to injure FTX, even though he's saying like, I'm an investor. Like, again, you have all this double talk, and they're saying like, we'll do this in a way that minimizes market impact. That's just a lie. It's a straight up lie. Binance always encourages collaboration between industry players. Yeah, because you're trying to bankrupt your biggest competitor, and then you're going to collaborate by buying, the remains. CZ, I mean, you got to respect his ruthlessness, where he's saying like, we've decided to liquidate 2 billion and I'm going to tweet about it because I know that it's going to destroy this company. But then this is what he says with the acquisition. He's got a few other tweets. Where is it? So he says, he now pretends to be innocent. I was out with friends yesterday when the topic of whale alerts, following our principles, I decided to be transparent. So I wrote a thread in 5 minutes and posted it. Little did I know it was going to be the straw that broke the camel's back. You did know. It's okay. I know you can't admit how ruthless you are, but you don't get to the top of the shadiest industry in the world by being like a nice guy. So he's saying like, I don't understand. I was just being transparent. Like it's actually humorous. He's obviously selling the 2 billion because he knows how troubled FTX is. He knows he can like stick the knife in and finish them off. But this is basically what happens afterwards. So this was him basically saying, mind you, remember Sam said we're doing a transaction together. CZ says this afternoon FTX asked for our help. There is a significant liquidity crunch. He easily could have capitalized because the previous day Sam said there is none. But he says to protect users in the hopes of protecting users, we signed a non-binding LOI, meaning he can drop out at any time, intending to fully acquire FTX and help cover the liquidity crunch. So he's framing it like we're here to help, even though he's the one who started the run on the bank. So everyone in this industry is basically just ruthless, lying, shady. They don't care about their users. They don't care about their customers. They just have to say this because there's going to be a whole investigation. Mind you, this is all happening right now. And it's fascinating that it's playing out over Twitter and like Telegram and with, crypto prices galore. Look at this. It just keeps dropping. Let's see what crypto is. And I think it's actually interesting because, Bitcoin just keeps dropping now. The market rallied right here when this collaboration got initially announced, thinking like, oh, they're saving FTX, everyone's going to be saved. But then when you start looking into this and you're like, wait a minute, FTX is one massively over-leveraged company and you thought that they were okay. That means probably every company in crypto is massively over-leveraged. There's no regulation, so there's no transparency, so we have no idea. And now people start to say, wait a minute, like this thing can't even bounce. Remember, crypto has been trying to bounce. I mean, this is for months, it's just stayed around 20,000, which theoretically should be support, but it should have bounced. So when you don't have the bounce that should happen, now you have all this risk, all this investigation. Already crypto was, the home of the most fraudsters, tax dodgers, just the shadiest people in the world. Now it's like, who wants to be invested in this? Like NFTs aren't bouncing, Ethereum's crashing, Bitcoin's crashing, all these shady little cryptos are getting crunched. I know like the US dollar is so bad, but guess what? The US dollar has performed pretty well. I bet that really pisses off these crypto people anymore. Anyways, the lesson here is don't trust anybody. Expect the worst. I don't care how well spoken you are. I don't care what you tweet. This rings true for crypto. This rings true for traders, stock traders, anybody. Expect the worst and you'll never be disappointed. This is why all my top students and I show all of our trades. Some people say, Tim, you're a fraud. Like your strategy doesn't work. You realize I just had two of my best years ever in 20 plus years. I never did better than 2020 and 2021. And I traded in a conservative fashion and still made $1 million each of those years. And I donated it all because I'm obsessed with showing the process. This is the beauty of transparency, right? You show all your trades, you show your process. I show my millionaire students. It's up to you. And all these companies, they'll do whatever they want to people who are, financially naive, whether it's penny stock promoters, whether it's giant crypto companies. You really have to expect the worst. And I know this is a cynical way of looking at it, but it's the only way. You have to protect yourself, okay? And you might want to rip on politicians in the US dollar, but they're much better than crypto, okay? For now. Again, I don't agree with a lot of US policies. Don't even get me started on inflation and debts and stuff like that. Nothing's perfect, but when in doubt, like the US dollar is going to be something that people go to for safety. And I know gold says, hey, we're the real safety. No, gold, your performance has been crap. So you can come up with all your conspiracy theories that you want. There's so many conspiracy theories. There's so many theories out there. Price action matters, okay? And if you respect price action, where, long before FTX collapsed, crypto was not bouncing. Some people just took positions in crypto just because it has to bounce, right? Nothing has to bounce. an ugly bear market exposes all the nastiness. I still don't think the stock market has gone down to a level where I'm comfortable dip buying. I've been wanting a giant crash for a year. Remember this outfit? So we've had crashes. We'll continue to have crashes, but just historically, like we're still elevated, and there's still a lot of dumb money out there that needs to just get educated. So I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I'll post a bunch of links below. Join my challenge if you want to get mentored and you want access to my webinars. Oh, by the way, challenge students, Jack Kellogg is giving a webinar on November 22nd. I'll have the exact time soon, but mark your calendars. That's going to be amazing. Jack Kellogg, for those of you who don't know, my newest 8-figure student, over $10 million in profits, was a former valet just a few years ago. Again, shows every trade and shows his process. So for me, I have to comment on this. I'm not a crypto trader, but I see a lot of parallels with crypto, shady short sellers who hide their losses. By the way, half the short sellers you look up to, they're insolvent too. I'm not here to rip on anybody or create any wars, but if a short seller doesn't show all their trades publicly, they probably lost big, and they probably lost most or everything. The average retail trader in 2022 has lost 44%. 44% of their portfolio. That's average. That means that a lot of people have lost 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100%. And if you use leverage and you're like one of these stubborn short sellers in these shady groupthink discords where everyone's like, let's all short together, they're getting crushed. Most of the time they're right, but all it takes is one to be wrong, whether it's HKD, ILAG, HUDI, FTX, there's going to be more blowups. And you can't necessarily know which is next, but you can, again, study history, or right now, study the present, and just get educated and just be safe. You do not have to take big risks to get wealthy. Leave that comment. Say, I will not take big risks to get wealthy. The beauty of these volatile assets, whether it's NFTs or cryptos or stocks or freaking Pokemon cards, anything that moves, you can trade. You can trade that volatility. And if you study enough and you're prepared enough, you will outlast the frauds, the fakes, the gunslingers. Congrats to those of you who were shorting FTX. I wouldn't short. I still think it's a very crowded niche, but some people did, and they banked, okay? There will be failures. There will be a lot of failures, and there will be people that you thought were good, but they end up being bad. I'm sorry to poke a hole in a lot of the short sellers that you look up to, but this is one of the reasons why I hardly ever short sell anymore, because I just know too much about short selling, and I know how many people have lost 50, 75, 100% of their money. And if you're a newbie following these seemingly good short sellers, you too will get crushed. I don't want that. Remember, I donate all my trading profits to charity. I don't say that to brag. I want you to understand that it doesn't matter for me personally whether I make money or lose money trading. Obviously, I want to donate more, but my interest is in creating more millionaires. My main business is teaching and creating millionaires from scratch. That is how I get paid. So I better be damn good at my job to create more millionaires, which I have been. We're up 5 times the number of millionaires. We didn't even have a big enough stage at my conference a few weeks ago to have all the millionaires, and not even all the millionaires were there. So I'm very pleased with our community's progress, but I got to make videos like this just to remind you to stay safe. Stay safe above all else. Expect the worst. You can size up. I'm not saying take small size forever, but size up when there's a solid play. Size up when you have experience, after you have experience and know-how. All my top students and I start with just a few $1,000s. You can start small. You don't have to use leverage. You don't have to risk blowing up. You don't need to do these shady interconnected deals that a lot of crypto people are doing, and stock trading people are all trying to trade together. I don't think that you should trade with anybody. When I had my millionaire students with me, when we were in Italy a few months ago, we're all in different rooms. We don't want to be influenced by any other traders. I think that these chat rooms where everyone tries to trade together, I think they're very dangerous. And this is why I say never follow anybody's alerts. Focus on building your own process. And the way that I teach tries to help you become self-sufficient. That's the goal. It's not just about becoming wealthy. It's can you become self-sufficient, as all my top 30 plus millionaire students and I are. And we trade different strategies. whatever works best for our own personality. Anyways, I got to get going. Challenge webinar in a few hours. Click the link below to apply for my challenge. Get 2, 3, 4 live webinars per week. November 22nd, Jack Kellogg, big webinar. I'm excited for that. Just stay safe, okay? And expect the worst. Leave a comment saying I will stay safe, and I'm going to hold you to it. Cheers.